Hello, hello. Oh, hello. Welcome to this episode of Coach Cara's podcast, Itchy, Bitchy, and Guests. Sorry, I had a total frog in my throat there. Anyway, today I'm going to speak about something I see all the time, which, let's face it, is mainly what I speak about. It's about my experiences and my client experiences. Anyway, it's not about food, it's not about calories, it's not about macros, it's about us. So, I am going to speak about a client anonymously, not because I'm calling her out, but because she just happened to do this on the back of about 5 other people doing it. All right, so this is quite common. So I hear a lot of the time, I am so hungry all the time. Can you help me manage this? Yes, of course I can. Obviously, that would be my response. But followed this a wee week later, a couple of days later. I think I maybe had one client that waited a fortnight, to be fair, that said, maybe I just need to cut my calories. So obviously we're at two polar opposite ends of the spectrum. So I'm hungry all the time, which makes you think realistically that you're not eating enough. It doesn't, by the way, it doesn't necessarily mean that, but that's what we mean. Followed by, I think I need to cut my calories because that'll motivate me more. So my first response when a client asks me this, my first response when a client asks me if I can help them stop them from being hungry, then if they're looking for me to stop them from being hungry, then no. I can help you manage that hunger, but the first thing you would need to do is figure out whether it was actually whether it was actually hunger, or whether it was thirst, or whether it was something to do with your hormones or your stress levels or your sleep the night before, or whether you were hungover or what kind of food you ate yesterday. So there's so many reasons why you could be hungry this one day, right? It can be from something that you did or didn't do within the last 24 hours. It can be from something that you did or didn't do within the last 48 hours. So keeping a note of hunger levels on all my clients, by the way, have a habit tracker, and it has a daily ticky box for hunger levels. So we want to kind of note on a daily basis what our hunger levels are like, because there are going to be days that we're just hungry. Just for no reason, we're just hungry. And there are going to be days that we're not hungry, just for no reason. But there's also about 50 million other thousand reasons why we are hungry or why we're not hungry. So learning to manage this and being aware of our own hunger levels is very, very, very important. A lot of dieting is learning how you feel and learning why you feel like that and having the confidence to act or not act on that. Massive. Honestly, it's just not as simple as calories in and calories out, especially when you get to midlife and we're dealing with a whole load of other stuff as well. So the second thing is, quite often hunger, right? Hunger is normal, by the way. Hunger is normal, but the environment that we live in now, and the world that we live in now, we're very anti-hunger. So we're very, snacks. Let's just carry all the snacks with us. We've got car snacks, we've got bag snacks, we've got gym snacks, we've got work snacks. We've actually got snacks. We've got supper. Do you get what I'm saying? There's so many portable snacks, because the portable snack market or the portable snack companies realise that the portable snack market is worth a bloody fortune. But if we buy into this portable snack market, then we forget what hunger's like, because the minute we even think that we might be hungry, we're eating a snack. Whereas, do you remember in the olden days when I was at school, you literally didn't get snacks. I think you got your morning milk. That was it. Maybe you got a play piece, but even then, and back before that, my dad used to get up in the morning, have his breakfast, which was toast and cheese, by the way, hilarious. Go to work with his packed lunch, which was a cheese sandwich, and then come home and have his dinner. Right? There was never snacks. So hunger is okay. Hunger's your body or your brain telling you that it needs some energy. It's not something that we need to totally get rid of. We just need to learn to manage it. That's a true story, by the way. Anyway, that was a total tangent and totally not really connected. Anyway, right, so can you help me manage my hunger? Yep, I can help you figure it out 100%. Oh, right, I've tried that for a couple of days, so I think maybe cutting my calories would help. If you are struggling with hunger, how the fuck is cutting your calories actually going to help? I mean, come on. Seriously. Anyway, the whole point of this pod. Right, so first of all, right, my genuine response to this client was I am not cutting your calories at the moment, right? Because the bottom line is, it is about client preferences, right? And it's not about me saying you will do this and you won't do that. But sometimes, as a coach, right, it's my fucking game, it's my ball, it's my fucking rules. And this was one of those times because if you don't have a coach and if you get to make all the decisions yourself, kidding on that you're the adult that we keep telling ourselves that we are, right, then we just move the goalposts too many times. So the reason, I am going to tell you the reason that I haven't cut our calories is because we're not hitting our protein goal, we're not hitting our fibre goal, we're not hitting our water goal, and we're not hitting our steps goal. So there is absolutely no danger that I'm going to cut calories because if you are not hitting your protein, your fibre, your step, and your water goal on the calories that you're on at the moment, which is a weenie deficit, by the way, how the fuck are you going to hit all of those goals when you're eating less calories? You're not. You're absolutely not. Of course you're not. But sometimes, as adults, we don't think about these things, and that's perfectly normal. I would have done the same, by the way, before I got myself so educated on nutrition. Of course I would have. Oh, I maybe wouldn't have consciously thought this, but what I was thinking was, oh, I'm a bit bored with this, and this fat loss malarkey sucks, and it isn't happening quick enough. So do you know what? I'm just going to fucking totally punish myself and cut my calories. Because at some point in my life, as I'm sure you do, you genuinely believe that fat loss is only about calories in and calories out. Now, the scientific side of fat loss is absolutely only about calories in and calories out. Do you know? But we're women. We've got hormones, we've got emotions, we bring emotions into everything. Of course we do. We catastrophize things, we over dramatise shit as well. And the thing that we're very, very good at is kidding on that we're perfect and not accepting fuck all responsibility. So, anyway, right, carrying on. Right, so this client, like I said, there's actually been 4 or 5 clients in this whole, in the last couple of months. Right, and the reason that there's been so many is because it is, I work with midlife women and I work with women, and it's quite common for us to do this. I've done it myself, like I said, right, so we keep moving the goalposts. This is the problem. This is one of the many reasons why we are not getting fat loss. Because we keep moving the goalposts. We say that we want help managing hunger, and then we decide that the plan isn't working fast enough, so we change the plan. Whereas in fact, what you actually need to do is get the plan and stick to it for more than like a fortnight, for months at a time. But there's obviously a caveat. If you're hitting all the targets and hitting every single goal in the process, then you need to be prepared to change, and that change might be cutting calories. But it's not an automatic response. When somebody says to me, can I cut my calories, I do not automatically say yes. There's far too many other things that we need to take into account before we make that decision. So it is, right, so it is ourselves that's the problem. We keep moving the goalposts. It's not the plan, it's our mindset. And I've actually done a post on this. There's a post going out in the next couple of days, like, for the love of Christ. I think I've titled it, For the Love of Christ, will you stop lying to yourself? So, the real reason we move the goalposts, and we do it, I am speaking about fat loss, but if you think about other stuff as well, like, I'll give you an example. When I started CrossFit, I've done a post about this as well, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whenever it was, I'm totally going to get a pull-up. Just thought I'd accidentally get a pull-up without putting the fucking effort in, right? But I wasn't getting a pull-up, so I moved the goalposts. I don't want a pull-up anymore, it's too hard. I want to do something else. And then I tried doing something else for like 2 weeks, and then I got a bit bored. So then I went back to pull-ups and maybe tried that for 4 weeks and then got a bit bored because I never got a pull-up. Whereas in fact, if I that original time 7 years ago when I said I want a pull-up, see if I'd actually just put the work in for 6 months, I would have had a pull-up. Like 5 years before I actually got a pull-up. So we move the goalposts, right? And it's easy when we do it to ourselves because we've got no accountability and we don't need to justify it to anybody else. And let's face it, we can justify anything to ourselves 100%. So we get a bit uncomfortable, and this is bizarre, right? This is like a contradiction right here. We get uncomfortable doing the boring stuff, right? So so if you've got the two extremes of the spectrum, right? This one extreme at the one end, right? Oh my god, I'm starving. Can you help me manage my hunger? And this other end of the spectrum, oh my god, I think I actually might need to cut my calories, right? Whereas in fact, if you just picked somewhere in the middle, right, and stuck to that, so stuck to that plan that's in the middle, it's the boring plan, right? It's not glamorous. Dieting is not glamorous. It's boring as fuck, right? So just eat your calories. Eat 30% protein ish. Have 20% for your treats. Eat 5 portions of fruit and veg a day, at least. Drink 3 or 4 litres of water a day. Manage your stress. Do your pre-bed routine. Get 7 to 9 hours sleep. Do your daily steps and exercise. See if you just did that for 6 months, you would get fat loss, all right? But it's boring. It's dead boring, and there's nothing glamorous about it at all. So then we get a bit bored, funnily enough. Whereas boring, see, most of my clients in their check-in, see when they check in and they say to me, I've had a really boring week, I know that their fat loss is going to be good. 100%. Because we like boring. Boring works. I've said this before, if you want to do something exciting, don't do it with fat loss. Go and put a fucking cape on and wear it to the supermarket. But be boring with your fat loss. This is the bit that actually works. But our brains are very clever. Our brains crave novelty. Our brains crave excitement. They crave the quick fix because it feels productive. It feels like we're getting somewhere. So, yeah, can't stick to my 2,000 calories. I think cutting it to 1,600 would motivate me to stick to it. No, it fucking would not. So our brains do crave excitement. Find excitement in your life somewhere else, not with fat loss and not with dieting. Also, it's very easy to blame the process instead of taking accountability and accepting that it's us that's dicking about. So, if we are not being 100% consistent, maybe 80% consistent to be fair, it is absolutely easier to blame the process or the stages than it is to have a word with ourselves. Yeah. Oh, I'm not losing fat because I'm hungry all the time, so I'm eating extra calories. That's not your fault. It's not your fault that you're hungry, is it? No, of course it's not. Must be your cycle coach who's got you on not the right calories. Could be too many, could be too little, but do you know what I mean? It's not your fault. Absolutely not. And then what if we do cut your calories? Just say we cut your calories to something ridiculous like 1,500 calories. Why are you not losing body fat? Oh, because, do you know, my calories are too low. Yeah, so just accept that it's probably probs, like 99% something that you're doing or not doing that's stalling your fat loss. 100%. Anyway, we need to own that. We need to own it. We need to accept accountability. We need to be boring with the plan. Also, back to the hunger thing, right? The hunger conversation. Let's have another chat about that. It's okay to be hungry. You just need to learn to manage it. And learning to manage it for me looks totally different than learning to manage it for you. So a couple of days of the week, right, I go back out at 4 o'clock because I go and coach a class down at the gym. Right, so I have my lunch about 1. I'm very rarely starving in the morning, by the way, so I'll have my breakfast after my training anytime between 7:30 and 8:15, right? And then I was coming home, taking Jasper for a walk, getting a takeaway coffee. By the time I was getting back into the house and I'd done a wee hour of work or something, by the time 11:30 came, right, I was absolutely starving, which is ridiculous. And then I don't have my lunch till 1, so I was having a snack. So then I thought, and then I would have my lunch at 1, and then I felt obliged to have something to eat at 3:30 before I went back down to the gym. Now I know it's only an hour that I'm out the house for 2 hours, but I'm coaching for an hour. But it's that whole portable snack market thing, right? I'm like, oh my God, I might actually get hungry. Oh my fucking God, I need to eat just in case I get hungry. That's ridiculous. So what I've started doing is I've half my breakfast now after I've done my training between 7:15 and 8. I then come home, take Jasper out, still get a takeaway coffee because that's like the proper treat of the day. Come back home and then I have my second half of my breakfast. So before, when I was having a snack about 11, I don't need a snack about 11 because I'm eating the second half of my breakfast at about 10. So that takes me over till lunchtime. And then instead of having my lunchtime Freddo, because my lunchtime Freddo, I was really struggling with it. It was getting a bit out of hand. And also, the earlier in the day that I eat chocolate, the more I want to eat chocolate for the rest of the day. So I've cut my lunchtime Freddo and I've replaced it with my protein yogurt. So I used to have my protein yogurt at 3:30, right before I went out. But a lot of the time, I wasn't very hungry because I'd had my lunch at 1. So now I just have my protein yogurt after my lunch. And then I don't have a snack before I go out at 4:30. Right, now this has taken me a good 2 years to figure this out, and 2 years to figure out experimenting how to manage my hunger. So at the moment this is working. Will I need to change it again in the future? More than likely. But it's not a drama, because I'm a midlife woman and I don't dramatise things. Do you know what I mean though? But sometimes you just need to think a little bit differently, and you just need to have the confidence to try something different. So at the moment this is working for me. All right, so I'm only eating really when I'm hungry. And believe me, the binge eater that I used to be a long time ago, 10, 11 years ago, never thought I'd actually be able to say that, but that works for me. So have the confidence to accept hunger and manage hunger, and you're going to need to experiment and find out what works for you, because this is one of those things that as a coach I do not say do this and do that. All right, it's about taking the time and trying different things that works for you. So hunger is okay. Hunger's cool. You just need to manage it. You need to figure out whether it is actually a physical hunger, whether you're actually hungry, right? Whether you're just thirsty, whether it's emotional, could be habitual, or it could just be boredom. So you need to figure out all of those things, right? And you're totally going to fuck it up along the way, and that's okay as well. Have the confidence to make mistakes. Make mistakes is allowed. Do you know? It's not like we're not in the Hunger Games. If you make a mistake, you die. You get another chance to try something different. Yeah, true story. Also, right, why cutting calories rarely solves the problem. Most midlife women especially, right, would do very well on 1,600 plus calories. Now, I'm picking 1,600 because I think that's low. Realistically, most of you would do well on 1,800 to 2,000 plus calories. Absolutely, 100%. And yes, you would still get fat loss, right? But we cut our calories because just for every single reason that I've just said. Do you know, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories. Oh, I'm not losing weight. I'm going to cut my calories to 1,100. Oh, I'm still not losing weight. I'm going to cut them to 1,000. Whereas in fact, when you started off in the 1,200, you weren't really on 1,200. You were on 1,200 Monday to Thursday afternoon of the stuff that you were tracking on MyFitnessPal. Or maybe you weren't tracking because it's so much better to stumble around the world of dieting for 30 years instead of actually just tracking your food for 6 months, losing the body fat that you want, and then being able to eat a normal amount of calories. Yeah? So, quite a lot of the time we are lying to ourselves. Anyway, cutting calories rarely solves the problem. It is a short-term dopamine hit. You will get that feeling of being in control. I've cut my calories. I'm fucking awesome. I know exactly what I'm doing. But it will lead to underfueling your body, burnout. Burnout, that sounds a bit dramatic, but it's true, especially if you're exercising a lot, right? You're just going to have one shit session after the next, and then you're probably just going to end up patching the gym, which is not a good thing neither. And then you'll just get frustrated, and then you'll start in that vicious cycle again and again and again. You'll just stop doing everything, you'll stop moving, and then you'll be like, right, it's a Monday, I feel that it's time to start my diet again. Then you'll go back to your 1,200 calories, try and hammer the gym 7 days a week. You'll get to the end of the week, maybe a fortnight if you're lucky, and you'll be so fatigued and so knackered and so crabbit that you'll just stop, and then you won't do anything for another 4 weeks, and then you'll psych yourself up and restart it again. Whereas if you just ate a decent amount of calories, your brain would actually function. You'd probably get some good training sessions in, so your confidence would increase and you'd feel fucking awesome. Yeah, cutting calories, man, it's very rarely. In fact, out of the whole time that I have been online coaching, right, between the midlife reset and my on fire group coaching, I reckon there is, out of all the women that have came to work with me, I reckon there is one person that came to work with me on a decent calorie, like they'd been following a decent calorie deficit before they came to work with me. Every other single woman was way too low calories. Sorry, I'm trying to think that through. But yeah, I think I've got one person at this moment in time that when she signed up for me, when she signed up with me, I remember thinking to myself, calories are actually pretty decent. Everybody else was in a severe, far too ridiculously strict calorie deficit and had been for a while. Anyway, cutting calories is very rarely the answer. Right, self-discipline. This is what we want. We want self-discipline. Remember, if you listen to my podcast, follow me on the socials, Coach Caris on Insta and Facebook, right? Very rarely will you hear me saying you need motivation. You don't. You need discipline, right? Motivation sucks. You need discipline. So discipline is the thing that will get you from where you are now to where you want to be. Because most of the time, you just need to turn up. You need to put the reps in, right? And when I say you need to put the reps in, that's not like a CrossFit thing that you need to go down to the gym. You just actually need to put the reps in. So for example, if you're looking at fat loss, right, you need to sort your calorie deficit out, and you need to stick to your calorie deficit again and again and again and again. You need to sort out your pre-bed routine, and you need to do your pre-bed routine again and again and again and again. You need to make sure that you're drinking water again and again. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the reps, it's the repetitiveness of it. You need to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. That is self-discipline. Motivation will never make you do the reps, because you'll just be like, this is shit, and then you'll just patch it. So don't. So if you are struggling with discipline and self-discipline, right, it is not a punishment. Remember, this is all your choice. If you want to lose body fat, this is your choice to lose body fat. So reframe that punishment that you've got going on in your head to self-respect. You're not over-restricting your food. You respect yourself enough to fuel your body. You can fuel your body and be in a calorie deficit at the same time. You can't over-restrict and be in a healthy calorie deficit. That's ridiculous. But you can fuel your body and be in a calorie deficit at the same time. And turning those thoughts into self-respect, and that it's your choice. We forget sometimes that we have a choice. There's always choices. Always choices. Anyway, right, midlife hunger, midlife fatigue, emotional eating, right? They are all things that we deal with on a daily basis. But a lot of them, none of them come from being a shitty human being, right? And none of them come from us being bad people. They come from stress. Poor sleep. We're not managing our stress properly. We're not doing a pre-bed routine. We're not getting 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep a night. They come from our hormones. Absolutely. Our hormones make things a lot more difficult, or our lack of hormones make things a lot more difficult. And lack of muscle as well. It's not lack of willpower, because willpower is shit. You need discipline. Discipline matters, definitely. But also, so does understanding why your body feels the way that it does. And one of the reasons, if you're struggling at the moment and you just feel a bit shit, please, for the love of Christ, have a look at your calorie deficit, because I guarantee you it's too severe. Absolutely, right? So next time, I want you to think about this, right? Next time, you know, I like to give you homework. You catch yourself saying, maybe I need to do more of this, or maybe I need to eat less. I want you to actually stop and think, right? Do you really? Have you actually been consistent? This is just consistency. This is like amazing. Have you actually been consistent? Yeah. This is the chance, ladies, to reset everything that you've done in your past. This is the chance to learn new knowledge. This is the chance to find the confidence and self-belief that you can actually be whoever the fuck you want to be, and you can actually do whatever the fuck you decide to do. Swear, man. Midlife. It's fucking awesome. Speak to you all soon.